Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trading. Short show today, holiday abbreviated markets, and we're seeing some thin, volatile trade. We'll head to LaSalle Street, Wall Street, couple announcements, and we'll get out of here. All right, LaSalle Street it is. D's corn down 3.5, no beans up 1.5. Meal and oil, meals up a little bit, oil's down. Border trade wheat, KC, Minneapolis down 2 to 6. Live cattle down 25. Feeder cattle up 45. Those months are getting very thin. We need to change those hogs down a little bit. And with that, Wall Street it is. Interesting board here. Dow Jones down 50, S&P up 39, NASDAQ up 222s, 5s, 10s, 30s, all showing signs inflation is picking back up. Bonds are breaking. That means interest rates are going up. Gold down 4, silver down 13, copper down 6, crude oil down $1, natural gas down $1, 2,500. Natural gas that round trip from 2,000 to 3,000 back to 2,500. Bitcoin, the big winner, ring the bell. Bitcoin up 2,200. Connor B, welcome to the show, buddy. Quick show, not a lot to talk about.
Yep.
Thin trade. I like the way no beans lollipop from down all night and little buying come in. No export announcements because it's the holiday.
Right. And well, we had the USDA report Friday, but then we had commitment of traders. And guess what, Tommy? We have across corn, soybeans, wheat products, we've got a net long position. So if you haven't been paying attention, that's been the story in 2024, how record short or how short we've been all year. Guess what? We've finally been able to get long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're out there and you're in ag and you don't understand what just happened, a lot of things happened. Beans rallied $1.10 off the low. Funds covered, but the fundamentals are bearish as heck. And we hit 999 in beans last night. That's the futures market. That's not the cash market, boys and girls. So we're right pretty much. What do you think they'll say for percent of, well, they won't say anything today, but in your mind, the next few days, what do you think they'll announce for bean harvest done?
Bean harvest progress. I'm going to be real interested to see because I got a feeling we made maybe not a record pace, but a ton of soybeans got cut across the Midwest this past week. So I think we're going to be all but wrapped up. I mean, especially in Central Illinois, we are going to be all but wrapped up on soybeans. And I think we made a huge jump in soybean harvest, Tommy.
Yeah, call to action if you're out there, if you're listening. Do you have any soybeans left? Are there many soybeans left in your area? I think the North Dakota boys will finish soybeans here at the end of this week, and then they'll be moving to corn. Hearing good things across America about corn. Mixed results, hit or miss in soybeans.
Yep.
I have a client in Northern Illinois where the homes stop and the fields start. He's very disappointed in soybeans. It's they do need rain in the end of August and September, and he did get hot and dry, and others did too. But the corn, Connor, I feel like the corn crop's made, and USDA told us we did a lot of coverage on Friday. On Friday, we went live at 9. We had the 11. The boys and girls at corporate did the 120. I feel like we've really covered that. There's a big corn crop out there. Any way that there's not a big corn crop out there, and our clients are fibbing, and the USDA is fibbing?
I mean, last year, a big corn crop was a 177 average, Tommy. Right now, what did they tell us? Was it 183.8 or was it something like that?
It's a bunch.
So we're 6 bushels, almost 7 bushel better than the record last year. There is no way this isn't a big corn crop, right? I mean, maybe we could define big, right? But it's going to be a big one. So
yeah, and for all the people running around saying the beans aren't there, you're right. The USDA lowered 1/10 of a bushel. Congratulations. That's not a fight I want to fight.
Right. Well, looking at here's a good chart for you, Tommy. Just looking at commitment of traders, and you can see across all grain and oilseed positions, we've hit a net long position. Now, I got to tell you, I think soybean meal, right, a very bullish position, and soybean meal is a big part of that when we average them all together. But if we look at corn, soybeans separately, we've almost got a long position in both of those two. So that short covering rally, maybe we didn't feel it on the futures price. I mean, we did. We've seen a good rally, but we've seen them buy back their shorts. Now, right, if we wanted to be bearish, or if the funds wanted to be bearish, they're in a good position to short this again. That'd be my fear, especially when we start looking at South America and start looking at, it's turning a little wetter in that forecast, Tommy.
Yeah. Not only did this American farmer have a lot of beans left to sell, but South American farmer, there's no way they're going to get out front in front of their skis and get forward sold on a crop they didn't plant. So as they plant it, keep an eye on those March and May contracts. That's what they like to use to hedge. We could no doubt we could see an 8 in front of those contracts here in the next 3 to 6 months. That could be very interesting. Obviously, it wouldn't take 6 months to get to March and May, but moving forward in beans, we could see lower prices. Now, if they turn the spigot off and something changes, demand starts up, China realizes they're short bought. We have an election. We're coming on 25 days. A lot of interesting things on there. I think there's a lot of interesting things happening with the election. There's going to be that's what's going to happen this political cycle, not only our election but other elections. 22 days till the election.
It's going to be here before we know it. Looking at weather, here's just a very quick from Micah T Storm Weather put this together. Just GFS next 14 days, right? Very much switched to above normal rainfall in that Mato Grosso region. Looking at a much wetter forecast, I think a big part of why we saw the weakness. We had beans turn positive as we started this show. We're back to about unchanged, but it's going to be a big week in terms of looking at how that planning progress goes in South America. We've got a CONAB report out. We'll talk about that on tomorrow's show, but keep an eye on that, right? What does Brazil say Brazil has for corn and soybeans? We saw the USDA numbers last week, didn't change a whole lot, but CONAB numbers are always good to see too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, expect a little volatility in all markets. I've been keeping a closer eye on the dollar. That's been moving markets. As you see that, God, I forget what it was yesterday. Friday, I read like the dollar traded up 8-9 days in a row. I could pull that chart up tomorrow. Okay, speaking of premium content real quick, you did a great job. You and Dr. Cruz, we released that. Today, we have Mick. Mick and I are going to do weather here in a little bit, talk about what the week ahead looks like. We got cold weather, frost coming. That's all premium content, $30 a month, $1 a day. And then I'm going to do a special on soybeans. So we're going to release 2 premium contents today, weather with Mick Care, and then what should we do with soybeans as November options expire on the 25th here of October. Always catches people off guard. They're like, oh, I got to get out of those. I got till November options expiring the month before. So got to stay on your toes with that. I never liked the timing with my North Dakota clients on how those November options expire. Most of my people already moved to January options. And the reason we did that is so we can get through the election. If you're out there in the futures and options world, let's get moved to January so you can have I don't want to say stress-free next 40 days, but less stress than normal. Back to you.
Yep. Well said. We'll keep that in mind. And it does always sneak up on us, especially for, I bet your North Dakota guys where maybe they just started about a week ago and we're already talking about rolling them. But yeah, we'll pay attention to that. Tommy, are you sure no planning progress today because of Columbus Day?
I think the government's closed.
I think you're right.
Those people work so hard they could use a day off. And
I think you're right. But that looking forward, it's going to be interesting to see how much soybeans were harvested, right? We'll look at the corn number too, but that soybean number is going to be interesting to me.
I know this ACH's wires and all that stuff. The banks are closed now.
Yep.
Some banks actually their lobby's open that says a service. But if you wanted to move a big money or if you have a closing or something, usually today's not the day to do it.
Right. Well,
all right. Questions, comments. We'll get out of here.
Yeah. Or any other headlines we got, Joe? I don't. We pop up there. Here we go. Luke, dry soils for winter wheat seeding across the U.S. When does it become an issue on new crop futures? So. Tommy, tell me what you think. But when I'm talking wheat, I really think the story is going to be overseas, right? They call it poverty grass for a reason. I mean, I know it's very dry, not a whole lot of rain. Brady would be the first one to tell you they could use a little precipitation in Kansas, but I think we're a ways away from seeing that weakness in the futures market.
And they were getting really timely rains. They had some monster rains, but it doesn't last forever. You don't get a rain 8-12 weeks ago and think it's going to last forever. America's become dry. It rained here in the Midwest. Those showers just coming off the lake here in northern Indiana. There's a lot of wheat in the world, and the world no longer depends on America for wheat, and that makes me sad. We do sometimes see one particular wheat future trade premium to the other, or one a little demand come in, or maybe some regionality of some planning problems or some basis strength or weakness. But when I think of wheat, I really think of Ukraine and Russia right now, and we got to keep an eye on them. How the Russian crop was a little smaller. How much a little smaller? They don't exactly tell the truth. You got to watch out for your fibbers in the world. It's hard to conduct business internationally when half the people are lying.
Right. Yep. Well said. So with that, what else we got? Oh, China exports grew 2.4%, well below market forecast of 6%, and down from last month's 17-month high of 8.7%. So exports taking a little bit down, right? Not necessarily what probably China wanted to see when they really tried to stimulate their economy, but what do you think it means, Tommy?
There's a reason they're dropping bombs. They're dropping financial surprise bombs left and right, and nobody would know if the Chinese economy is in trouble more than the Chinese government. You're sure not going to be able to ask someone in China what's going on because they're left in the dark and censored anyway.
Yeah, well said. So what else we got? Oh, we're going right through them. India annual inflation rate 5.49, above market expectations at 5%, was the highest level since January, right? So one of the world's biggest economies, inflation ticking up, right? We hope inflation's or I guess the Fed is hoping inflation is getting back down to the 2% level for the United States. We'll see what India is doing.
Yeah, depending on what happens with our economy, we may look back in 3 months, 6 months, and say the Fed cutting a half was one of the greatest mistakes ever in Fed history if we have inflation come back. But with all these other world economies slowing down, maybe the Fed's right on target and they don't need to do anymore. We do have more Fed meetings coming up. Something with like we have an election, and then a few days later we have the Fed meeting, and that almost never happens. But in this case, it's going to happen. We're going to have a presidential election, a Fed meeting immediately after, I believe.
Yeah. So I think that's all we got on headlines, Tommy. My focus is really going to be where is planning progress? Where's CONAB going to have their numbers? And then where's the rains coming in South America? I feel like that's going to be the focus this week. But guess what? It's Monday, and we've got a long way to go to Friday.
Yeah, we started the show. We were down all night in beans. We just rallied back. It felt like something was going on. Oh, beans are up 3. Beans are down 1. I have a horrible special announcement. I have a horrible feeling it's going to be miserable being a grain trader next 3 to 6 months. A lack of volatility to people who do options is a death sentence. We'll end the show on that happy note. See you, buddy.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.